My daughter in grade 2 can change her name and her gender, not just without my consent, but most importantly, without me even knowing it, to the point that the school would literally deceive me as a parent should I ask to know what's going on. I have a serious problem with that. And I can tell you one thing, the vast majority of parents in this province have a very serious problem with that as well, and I will not back down.
Yeah. Good to see the Atlantic Canada waking up, whether it be the Muslim-led protests against this, the big protests in Ottawa. We saw it with Kathleen Wynne's government in Ontario back in the day, her radically progressive curriculum being significantly altered. I think that was in 2015. Once you have these groups, whether it doesn't matter your background, but people of all faiths, no faith, parents, once you start pushing stuff on their kids, sexualizing their children, they rally, they push together. It's good to see politicians, because politicians, for fear of being canceled by the alphabet people, they haven't been willing to touch on or comment on these issues. They've simply backed away because they viewed this as an issue that would get them canceled, that would threaten their opportunity for re-election. Well, the pushback from people has made clear that this standing up for kids is not an issue that's going to lose you in an election. In fact, it's probably one that's going to win you a few elections. So great to see politicians and parents alike finally standing up for this, the most self-evident and commonsensical thing that I could hear of parents as primary educators for their children, and parents as the people who most love and care for their children.
Yeah, I mean, this is an issue where the culture war is being won in our favor against what seems to be, or what the left would have you believe, is modern prevailing sentiment. Because if you consume any sort of media, social media, the news, you are inundated with alphabet people nonsense all day long. But this issue was enough to flip a Democrat state, and the uprising it came from school boards and parents showing up at school boards, and it propelled Glenn Youngkin in Virginia into office. Again, seemingly against all odds if you took your social cues from the mainstream media. But out here in the real world, parents don't take kindly to anybody for any reason having secrets with other people's kids. We don't like that. And if you are doing things to my children or allowing my minor children to do things, and then not only, as Austin points out, not tell me, but also actively deceive me, we've got a real problem. And that's what's mobilizing parents, is they're finally seeing it for what it is. And with the social contagion of this, people are starting to realize it's not just other people's kids that are vulnerable to this. It's a real social contagion, and it could be my kid too, no matter how hard I try to protect them. And so it feels like for a lot of parents, the enemy is at the gate, and they are really pushing back right now.
Yeah. And I think that, to quote Fulton Sheen, if you marry the spirit of the age, you'll find yourself a widow in the next. The Liberal government, Justin Trudeau's Liberal government, is so ideologically married to this issue that is flying off a slippery slope. We saw the start of sort of the defense of minor attracted persons. This, as you mentioned, separation where grooming behavior is being seen. And by definition, the sort of keeping secrets and alienating you from your parents and setting up a separate network of trust is textbook grooming behavior. Well, this may be the issue that finds the Liberal government in the next election a widow, so to speak, not being reelected, because so many people coming together over this. This, as you mentioned, the United States has shifted and swung elections. I suspect this will be a key issue for so many in the upcoming federal elections when they do take place.
Hey folks, that was a clip from the Daily Roundup. That is our live stream show that airs from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. I'm usually here for 4 of the shows. Our Alberta team takes over on Fridays. And you know what? You can interact with the hosts. If you give us a small financial donation, we'll read your comment during the live stream. So please go to revelnews.com/livestream and tune in Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern.